Hey y'all, Zach McDonald, your real estate agent with Real Property Associates, and today's question that every home buyer should ask is, what is earnest money? Earnest money, for those of you that don't know, is a good faith deposit when you're purchasing a home. And this good faith deposit is paid after your contract's accepted, so that's after you and the seller both agree on the terms of the contract. This money is then paid to the escrow company, which is a conversation for a different video. But this escrow company or third party holds on to this money throughout the purchase transaction. And then at the end, this earnest money is actually applied towards your down payment and closing costs. So it's not extra money that you pay, but it's money that you pay earlier than the rest of it. So another way I like to look at it is it's like a down payment to your down payment, something like that. This money in the transaction is collateral. And so if you default on the contract as the buyer, the seller would be entitled to keeping your earnest money. And of course, if the seller defaults, you would be entitled to getting your earnest money back. The tricky thing with the earnest money is, as a buyer, you want to protect it and protect your right to retain your earnest money as much as you can. And so we'll include what's called contingencies to protect that earnest money. And that'll be a conversation for a different video. But the idea with those contingencies is that, like for example, if you had a financing contingency or an inspection contingency, those are a few of the common ones. Title contingency, those are ways that you can protect your earnest money and still be able to bring that earnest money back to yourself if for some reason that the purchase didn't work out, at least in one of those ways. So I'll talk about that in the next video, what is a contingency. But the idea here with earnest money is that it's a good faith deposit that you make saying, you know what, I'm committed to this purchase. The seller wants to see it. They want to know that you're committed to the purchase. And it's also applied towards your down payment. Now, one other thing to note about the earnest money is typically this number is 2 to 3%. At least in the Seattle area, a more competitive market. Sometimes we see buyers that'll put even more down. You can put up to 5% down, and that's just the most amount the seller could keep. So on a $500,000 purchase, there aren't a lot of those anymore, that would be about $15,000 for the 3%, and then $25,000 for the 5%. So just a general framework there, but earnest money is your good faith deposit.